oh, oh, son of being, oh, 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 son of being, make mention of me on my earth, that in my heaven I may remember, that in my heaven I may remember thee, thus shall.
And we were talking about canceling it. Yeah, very inversion. But our coworker thought we said cancel it. Somebody ordered a huge wall of time. Now we canceled that.
Therefore, to create love in the hearts in order that they may become glowing and radiant. When that love is shining, it will permeate other hearts, even as this electric light illumines its surroundings. When the love of God is established, everything else will be realized. This is the true foundation of all economics. Reflect upon it. Endeavor to become the cause of the attraction of souls, rather than to enforce minds. Manifest true economics to the people. Show what love is, what kindness is, what true severance is and generosity. This is the important thing for you to do. Act in accordance with the teachings of Baha'u'llah. All his books will be translated. Now is the time for you to live in accordance with his words. Let your deeds be the real translation of their meaning. Economic questions will not attract hearts. The love of God alone will attract them. Economic questions are most interesting, but the power which moves, controls, and attracts the hearts of men is the love of God.
This is the day to make mention of God, to celebrate his praise, and to serve him. Deprive not yourselves thereof. Ye are the letters of the words, and the words of the book. Ye are the saplings which the hand of loving kindness hath planted in the soil of mercy, and which the showers of bounty have made to flourish. He hath protected you from the mighty winds of misbelief, and the tempestuous gales of impiety, and nurtured you with the hands of his loving providence. Now is the time for you to put forth your leaves and yield your fruit. The fruits of the tree of man have ever been and are goodly deeds and a praiseworthy character. Withhold not these fruits from the heedless. If they be accepted, your end is attained, and the purpose of life achieved. If not, leave them in their pastime or vain disputes. Strive, O people of God, that haply the hearts of the diverse kindreds of the earth, made through the waters of your forbearance and loving kindness, be cleansed and sanctified from animosity and hatred, and be made worthy and befitting recipients of the splendors of the Son of Truth.
souls should ponder and meditate in their hearts regarding the methods of teaching. From the texts of the wondrous, heavenly scriptures, they should memorize phrases and passages bearing on various instances, so that in the course of their speech they may recite divine verses whenever the occasion demandeth it, inasmuch as these holy verses are the most potent elixir, the greatest and mightiest talisman. So potent is their influence that the hearer will have no cause for vacillation. I swear by my life, this revelation is endowed with such a power that it will act as the lodestone for all nations and kindreds of the earth. Should one pause to meditate attentively, he would recognize that no place is there, nor can there be, for anyone to flee to.
O God, this is a broken-winged bird. His flight is very slow. Assist him so that he may fly toward the apex of prosperity and salvation. Wing his way with the utmost joy and happiness throughout the illimitable space. Raise his melody in thy supreme name in all the regions. Exhilarate the ears with this call, and brighten the eyes by beholding the signs of guidance. O Lord, I am single, alone, and lowly. For me there is no support save thee, no helper except thee, and no sustainer beside thee. Confirm me in thy service, and assist me with the cohorts of thy angels. Make me victorious in the promotion of thy word, and suffer me to speak out thy wisdom amongst thy creatures. Verily thou art the helper of the weak, and the defender of the little ones. And verily thou art the powerful, the mighty, and the unconstrained.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah. It's okay.
Some of the stuff, the rest of it, you're taking the stories, the hides and boxes. Yeah, there's a couple of Mormon kids that came by the other day. to be of service, but they didn't realize from the front yard to the
I'm good.
backyard what I was doing.
Good.
And then there was this moment where it's like,
What's this?
I felt bad.
No, no,
because
it's
it
good.
was
I get down.
good that I was serious when I was saying, well, what I'm doing, and if you want to help me, you can help me scrape buffalo lines. By the time we got about running the backyard, there was this realization of, hold on, I kind of thought maybe you were kidding at first, and the other kid went, I'm from Montana. Holy, well, I don't know what to say. Oh, I guess it'll wash out, you know, because they wear their suits and ties. Yeah, but they were about 2 seconds away from scraping a hide, and was like, I'm not going to hold you to that. But we had, it was cool. They had a good conversation. Yay for young people that, commit themselves to some path of service. I don't remember where the other one was from. I want to say somewhere back east, but the other was from Montana. Real talkative, very articulate young man.
Hi, Toby.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty well.
Long time no see, eh?
Steph, I can't wait to get my hands on. Hi, Shannon.
How old is he now?
It'll be 2 months tomorrow.
God,
Yep.
tomorrow's the first?
Yep.
Is this
Tomorrow
baby's
is
first
really the
feast?
I think so. Yeah.
I like this.
You're very flexible. Youngster.
Whippersnapper.
You want to get started at some point, or?
Oh, I don't know. We can wait a few more minutes if we think. I beat him, I didn't think.
Sciences and arts, and to unravel the secrets that are treasured up in the inmost reality of all created beings. Make them to hear hidden truths that are written and embedded in the heart of all that is. Make them to be instruments of guidance amongst all creatures, and piercing rays of your mind shedding forth their light in this, their first life. Make them to be leaders unto thee, guides unto thy path, runners urging men on to thy kingdom. Thou verily art powerful, protecting, potent, defender, and mighty amongst the heavens.
O companion of my throne, hear no evil and see no evil. Abase not thyself, neither sigh and weep. Speak no evil, that thou mayest not hear it spoken unto thee. And magnify not the faults of others, that thine own faults may not appear great. And wish not the abasement of anyone, that thine own abasement be not exposed. Live then the days of thy life, that are less than a fleeting moment, with thy mind stainless, thy heart unsullied, thy thoughts pure, and thy nature sanctified, so that free and content thou mayest put away this mortal frame, and repair unto the mystic paradise, and abide in the eternal kingdom forevermore.
O Lord, provide for the speedy growth of the tree of thy divine unity. And water it then, O Lord, with the flowing waters of thy good pleasure, and cause it before the revelations of the divine assurance to to yield such fruits as thou desirest for the glorification and exaltation, thy praise and thanksgiving, and to magnify the name, to laud the oneness of thine essence, and to offer adoration unto thee, inasmuch as all this lieth within thy grasp, and in that of none other. Great is the blessedness of those whose blood hath been thou hast chosen wherewith to water the tree of thine affirmation, and thus to exalt thy holy and immutable word. Let the flame of the love of God burn brightly within your radiant heart. Let the flame of the love of God burn brightly within your radiant heart. Feed it with the warmth of divine guidance and protect it in the shelter of thy constancy. Feed it with the oil of divine guidance and protect it in the shelter of your sanctity. Let the flame of the love of God burn brightly within your radiant heart. Let the flame of the love of God burn brightly within your radiant heart. Feed it with the oil of divine guidance and protect it in the shelter of your constancy. Feed it with the oil of divine guidance and protect it in the shelter of your constancy.
Very, very much. I love you. I love you. I love you. Oh, Lord. Anyone else have any other prayers or songs or anything? Not, I guess move forward.
Okay.
Our annual Baha'i month of fasting, that special season of self-restraint that includes our abstaining from food and drink during the hours of daylight. Perhaps more forcefully than any other time of the year, these unique 19 days remind us of the mystery of sacrifice. In a talk given in his last days in America in December 1912, Abdu'l-Baha spoke at length on the subject of sacrifice, affirming that the divine summons to sacrifice, given voice, by all the manifestations of God, calls us to sever ourselves from the influence of the world of matter and abandon an earthly realm of evil and darkness, of ambition and avarice, of self-worship and egotism, and seek instead the heavenly qualities and divine attributes of the eternal kingdom of God. Surely the fast we will strive to keep in the ensuing days is a measure of the degree of this severance. For it is, so the Master explained in another place, the withholding of oneself from all appetites of the self, taking on the characteristics of the spirit, being carried away by the breathings of heaven and catching fire from the love of God. As our discipline in observing the fast is a measure of our severance from the world of matter and our devotion to the things of the spirit, surely another measure can be seen in the character of our contributions to the funds of the faith, of our willingness to give freely and generously from the material resources at our disposal to further the progress of God's cause. As the Universal House of Justice has advised us, giving to the fund, therefore, is a spiritual privilege of which no believer should deny himself. It is both a responsibility and a source of bounty. The importance of contributing resides in the degree of sacrifice of the giver, the spirit of devotion with which the contribution is made, and the unity of the friends in this service. These attract the confirmations of God and enhance the dignity and self-respect of the individuals and the community. When we consider the range and number of activities and tasks our National Fund supports, from the work of our 12 regional Baha'i councils and the community building efforts taking place in scores of clusters, to the learning being shared in our permanent and seasonal Baha'i schools, to the efforts of our publishing trust to make the essential texts of our faith available at a reasonable price, we can see just how vital the precious dollars contributed by the Friends are to the growth and development of our national community. Friends, at this writing, contributions to the National Fund stand at $28.9 million, while our pattern of giving this year has...
Well, for me, it has been my life's blood. I had a traumatic event happen in my life, and like a lost child, I ran far away from everything that I knew, including being active in the faith. Though I was challenged with my test, I held tight to things and refused to let go. My obligatory prayer and giving to the fund. Little did I know that this was, I feel, my lifeline to my beloved Baha'u'llah. I struggled with all the challenges that everyone else does today in some form or another. Prejudice, low self-worth, finding identity, loneliness, and sadness. I have worked very diligently to overcome, and while I was struggling with my tests and difficulties, I would say to myself, at least Baha'u'llah still allows me to give to the fund. And feeling thankful for this, it will lead me into prayers. I still struggle with tests and have to work to stay slightly above the poverty line. However, I feel so privileged to be allowed to give to the fund. In my dark hours, in truth, this, along with prayer, has been my life's blood, my lifeline. Thank you sincerely for this honor.
There's a chair right there.
Yes, maybe. Well, first, this is a joyous little interlude we're having here. I'm wondering if we have any other announcements of like cluster meetings that we wanna share a little bit about what's gonna happen. We don't have another piece before this, do we?
Study circles and junior youth groups, how many participants we'd like to see in each. And so we came up with one of our most immediate steps is helping the friends who are currently in the Institute to use the skills they're developing there. So we're gonna do a home visit campaign. So people who've been through books 1, 2, or 4, or 6, so who are currently in those can visit with friends and have conversations about personages of the Bab and Baha'u'llah and about spiritual themes. Invite the people they visit to, kind of devotional gatherings, community activities, things like that. There's also going to be an element of collective teaching in Spanish Hills again, where we've started off last cycle here in Tacoma, and then some in Puyallup and some here as well.
Where is Spanish Hills?
It's just north of TCC on 12th at,
Okay.
I don't know what that cross street is, but yeah, like
Mildred.
Mildred.
Yeah, but you're
Oh, okay, I think I remember seeing it.
Yeah, literally right across the street from campus. We've met about half of the residents of that complex, and so we're hoping to do the second half of this go around. And many families, maybe a dozen families, have been involved in high activities there so far. So, what else? What am I missing, guys?
I guess maybe we're just replacing the number of activities that actually we start every cycle. Or sorry, we're replacing the number that stop every cycle. So we start new things, but we also we lose about as many as we start. So that was something that we looked at. And I think we were hoping, though, that by the bicentenary we could make a significant increase in the number of activities that are at the cluster level. And so currently we have around 50 core activities, but through kind of a deep analysis and we wanted to consult with everyone, though. We were thinking that maybe we could reach somewhere around 80. That we feel like we could have the capacity to maintain 80 activities by the bicentenary.
And where are we right now?
49.
So, what would, be the process of engaging you guys to go, okay, so as an example, I'm going to have space 2 days a week from like 3:30 to 7 o'clock at the Family Involvement Center across from Roosevelt Elementary. As I've been trying to figure some things out, I guess now I'm in a place to go, would like to figure out how to get some support.
So I know that there have been friends across the cluster who would be interested as well that aren't just here at Feast, but I wonder, do we know of people that would be, that would like to be on that team? Lying it, it's far more valuable. So that was just something that I was thinking about.
If we have the capacity and are doing it, we will have it.
Yeah. So yeah, it's better to have the activities and the capacity, right? That's the.
Any other thoughts? Maybe we could say our name and very briefly, in a few words, say the capacity we are going to be building in ourselves in this next cycle of activity.
Good one.
We had to go in Chicago when we were soccer day.
but she had like a specific
She
percentage
joined like a
at
luau
any
group.
time.
It's
And
the
so
last meeting.
if you can't approve
Yeah. She said they're live streaming
where
it
in
somewhere.
Tacoma,
I don't know where though.
Oh.
She said you could watch the live streams.
She's told me about this actually. It's a parent weekend right now.
so looking
One
at
of the things on Saturday night is the luau.
I told her to talk to her luau buddies and be like,
Based on
hey, listen, so there's this
conversations,
bicentenary
whether
celebration
it
for the
went
birth of
to
Baha'u'llah who talks about the oneness of humanity coming up, and we wanted to have diverse cultures represented for Tacoma. Can we perform this?
Yeah.
She said she'd ask.
and all of the programs are developed almost to the point